Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Shreya Chadav and today we are going to learn English class 12 chapter 1 the last lesson by Alfonso Daudet. About the author. Alfonso Daudet was a French writer. He was a novelist and a short story writer. He is remembered chiefly as the author of sentimental tales of provincial life in the south of France. Truth and fantasy, merciless delineation and poetry, clear sighted seriousness and a sense of humor, irony and compassion, all the contrasting elements of which men's dignity is made up and are to be found in Daudet's best work. The Franco Prussian War had a deep effect on his writing, and he has spent his personal experiences through this story. Genre. The last lesson is one of the best short story written by Daudet. Setting. The last lesson is set in the days of Franco-Prussian War, in which France was defeated by Prussia, led by Bismarck. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. In this story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussians' hand. Characters. As this is a short story, we have two characters. First one, Franz, a school-going boy. The second character is M. Hamel, French literature teacher. Introduction for answers. Dear students, this is really very important when you write down your question answers for your tests and examination to score good marks. Prose. Prose name. The last lesson. Author's name. Alfonso Daudet. Genre. Short story. Summary. In this story, the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussian hands. What the people living over there feels and how academic life changes and sets a mark in students and people's life. Story in brief. So today we are going to go through the main points of this chapter, and in the next video we are going to go through the reading and understanding explanation of the chapter. So here we go. A little boy called Franz started late for school that morning. He was afraid of going to school. Not only he was late, but also because his French teacher M. Hamel was going to ask questions about participles. He didn't knew and thought he would be scolded. He was not in a mood to go to school. While walking to school, he passed the town hall and noticed a crowd in front of the bulletin board. In olden days, all the important news were put up on bulletin board, which had been giving bad news since past 2 years because of warlike situation. The village people told friends not to hurry up while going to school. He thought that in school there would be commotion like usual days, but when he reached over there, he saw that the day was different. Everything was quiet and it felt like Sunday morning, because on Sunday we don't have school. Franz noticed that all his schoolmates were sitting in their respective places. There was pin drop silence, and M. Hamel was walking up and down with his iron rule under his arm. Franz was shy and quietly came and sat in the front row. However, that day M. Hamel spoke very kindly to him and allowed to have a seat. The teacher was wearing his beautiful green coat. his frilled shirt, and little black embroidered silk cap which he wore on inspection and prize days. There was a strange seriousness in the classroom. Usually the back benches were unoccupied, but today they were occupied by the village people who had come to study one last time. M. Hamel told the class that it was their last French lesson. The order had come from Berlin to teach only German in the schools of Elsac and Lorraine, and he would be leaving the school the next day. These words shocked Franz. He realized that when he had time to learn lessons, he was not interested and didn't heed to the words. In getting the news, he thought that now he would never be able to learn them. He was always busy peeping outside the window, looking at birds and wasting times. But today, those books felt like good old books. Now he developed sympathy towards the teacher and he felt sorry for him. And then realized that as it was his last lesson, so he had to put his fine clothes, and villagers had come to give gratitude to him and his 40 years of faithful service and to show respect for their country and their language, which was now taken over by the foreigners. While he was in his thoughts, M. Hamel called him and asked him to recite participles. He was unable to say anything and felt ashamed. He didn't say anything to friends, but he had said that habit people of Elsac of putting off learning the next day was so bad, and now that would never come. He blamed parents for not taking interest in their children's studies. He also blamed himself, as he also used to send his students to water the plants in the garden or asking them to go fishing and to have a day off. M. Hamel then told the class that French language was the most beautiful, clearest, and most logical language in the world. He wanted people to remember the language and to guard them. M. Hamel opened the grammar book and read it. Franz was amazed at how well he understood whatever he taught. He realized that it was his loss that he hadn't paid much attention to it. After that, they had writing lesson. Few books were given to them. All were busy in writing, and one could hear the scratching sound of the pens over paper. Franz looked at the cooing pigeons and thought if they would be able to make coo means to sing in German too. M. Hamel was sitting motionless in his chair. He was staring at all the things as he was recalling all his memories of 40 years spent in that school. Now he would be leaving his garden, school, and house forever. School children recited their work, and old Hawker joined them, but he was crying. All the children looked at each other and felt like laughing and crying at the same time. It was 12 and the church clock struck and all said their prayers. The Russian army were returning from their drill, means practice. M. Hamel stood up, motionless, over there. He was unable to utter a single word. With heavy heart, he went to the board and wrote on it, Vive la France, long live France. He signaled everyone to leave and the French class was dismissed. So this is all about the important points covered up in the chapter. In the next video, we are going to go through the explanation and the reading of the unit. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubt, any queries, you can comment in the comment section below. Have a nice day.